Oh, we're playing already. Okay, let me do my intro. Hi guys, welcome to this week's video. If you're new here or if you happen to come across this video, hi, my name is Ronah. I do random videos for fun, mostly about studying, productivity, and sometimes travel vlogs with my friends and family. I thought I forgot my intro. It's been so long since I last did a sit-down vlog, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. Today, as you can read from the title, I will be giving you some tips and tricks on how to survive senior high school, especially if you are an incoming ABM student. But disclaimer, the tips that I will be giving here will also be applicable to all senior high school students, no matter the strand, okay? No strand discrimination here. But since I am an ABM student, I was an ABM student, I already graduated, most of these tips or these experiences are relating to becoming or being an ABM student. So in my opinion, I don't think that all these tips, tricks, strategies, and secrets that you have to know about senior high school will fit into one video. So I decided to break down these into smaller videos and make this a mini series where I could tell you everything you need to know about becoming a senior high school student. So the videos will be probably 3 videos. First video will be about the preparations that you have to know, the preparations that you have to do. Second video will be about the journey. I will talk more about the ABM subjects, the hardest subject that you have to look out for, subjects that destroyed half my brain cells. And the last video will be the end, where I show you the feeling when you're nearing the end of becoming a senior high school student and when you're finally graduating. Okay, so as mentioned, this video will be dedicated to the preparations before actually entering into the senior high school journey. So in these 2 years, what do you need to prepare? What do you need to know? I have here a notebook and I list everything that you need to know from A to Z. Not really, I did not arrange this alphabetically, but you get the point, right? I have here 10 tips that will help you survive. Prepare first. Prepare in your senior high school journey. This is applicable to all senior high school students. Again, not only ABM. This is the preparations yet. We are going to dig deeper about becoming an ABM student in my second video. But anyways, first, why should you trust me? Why should you trust my tips? Well, not to boast or anything, but I graduated with high honors on senior high school and consistently made it to the top 1 of my class. This is the reason why you should trust my words. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but given the fact that I actually achieved those little victories, I can assure you that these tips and tricks might also work for you. Again, that wasn't boasting, okay? I did not have it easy. It was hard. Okay, anyways, let us start with the first tip. And my first tip will be do your research. Yep, you heard it right. Do your research. And you're probably watching this video because you're doing your own research. First of all, learn about the culture of the school. So when I say culture of the school, meaning you have to know about like the shared beliefs or attitudes of the stakeholders of the school, the relationship of the stakeholders towards its students. Also, you need to learn about parent engagement. It is important that, you know, your parents, they feel that they're actually engaged in your education as well. You have to know the communication, the ways of communication when it comes to your concerns in your academic life or non-academic life. And it is also important to know about the strand you are entering into, because in my personal experience, ABM wasn't the first choice. I was actually thinking of entering into STEM because I thought ABM was all about math and I hated math. If you're an ABM student, you have to research what are the possible subjects that ABM is offering. You have to ask yourself, will I be able to handle these subjects? Or what can I do to handle these subjects, you know? And another thing is to watch videos. Don't just watch my videos. It will be selfish for me to say that just watch this video, don't watch other videos. No, I want you to succeed. If you don't think my videos will not be enough to help you survive your strand that you're going to choose, watch other videos. I tell you, YouTube videos was very helpful when I was also doing my own research. So after weighing the pros and cons, I finally decided ABM is for me. I could handle ABM, not so sure with STEM, having doubts with STEM, so settled with ABM. So number 1 tip, do your research. Don't just go with the flow, though sometimes going with the flow is fun and all. It's spontaneous, it's giving you the adrenaline, it's exciting. But for me, in in my opinion, it's really important to be prepared, to be knowledgeable enough to know what you're dealing with. So the next tip that I am giving to you is build connections. That's right, build connections. Back in junior high, during the last months of junior high, we have no activities already for school. We're just practicing for a moving up ceremony. I actually interviewed some of my classmates of where they're going to study for senior high school. Because I already have a school in mind. It was USJR, my school right now in college. I already know I wanna enroll in USJR, but I'm too shy or I'm too afraid to take the entrance exams alone. So what I did, I interviewed my junior high school classmates. I asked them if they're going to study in USJR and convinced them to set the same schedule as me for entrance exams. So I think there was at least 10 of us who took the entrance exams together. What I had in mind back then is that if I take entrance exams together with my junior high school classmates, there is a big possibility that we will be in the same section for senior high school. And I was quite right, because out of the 10, at least, I had one classmate from junior high school who made it to the same section as me, and it's Minette. So Minette, we're classmates for grade 11, so we're in the same section. I was the happiest. First, I was very nervous. What if I'm alone? I'm really shy when it comes to talking to strangers. But when the sections were posted and I saw Minette's name, I was the happiest, luckiest student. So that's the tip I could give you. Build connections, guys. Try to convince your junior high school classmates to join you in your senior high school journey. So being classmates with Minette really helped me adjust easily to the new environment, because I was in junior high school in the same school for 13 years since nursery. So moving into a new school was quite a big change for me. But thanks to Minette, she made the adjustment really easy for me because she's familiar. It's nice to have a familiar face in the classroom, and it gives you a little confidence to talk to strangers because there's two of you. Oh, when the list came in, I only did not find Minette's name, but I actually stalked everyone in the class. If my senior high school classmates will see this, they will think I'm weird, but I did not stalk your personal life. I only stalked what you made public in your Facebook account. Did my research on them, not the creepy research the secrets. I just wanted to know who are the people I'm dealing with. You have to be smart about that. You have to know who are the people you can possibly be friends with or people you should not cross. And when I also say build connections, I also mean try to know if there are people from the higher year, like from grade 12 already, who are graduating senior high school. If you know someone from them, it's also a good thing. They can help you survive senior high. Third tip is, actually guys, this is applicable if you're going to a face-to-face classes for the next school year, but the third tip is to dress smart on the first day. And what I mean by dress smart is that don't dress too much to the point where you're drawing attention towards you. That is not the goal. That was not my goal. My goal was to keep myself as low-key as possible. Why? Because during the orientation day, that's where I observe. I can't believe I'm sharing this to the public. This is supposed to be a secret. On my first day of classes, I wasn't amused by the sights of the new school. I was observing. The first day wasn't a time to actually interact. First day for me is to observe the people, the classmates, because it's usually during the first day where people try to make their first impression on you. Well, that's not my strategy. My strategy was just to listen, know how they interact around people. But when I say stay low-key, I did not mean to not talk to them, because if they come to you, if they introduce themselves to you, of course you talk to them. That's my third tip. Dress smart to observe. You don't have to make your impression yet. At least that's my strategy, because our orientation day wasn't held inside the classroom yet. It was inside our coliseum. I thought back then there's plenty of time for that later. For now, I'm gonna sit still, smile, and observe. This is my secrets and I'm exposing it to the public. I can't believe I'm doing this. Okay. Fourth tip, if you're inside the classroom already, actually I'm having doubts if I should say this, but my fourth tip will be choose your seat wisely. That is, if you're given by your teacher to choose your own seat. My strategy was to sit in the aisle area, second or third row. I I can't believe I'm sharing this, but the reason why I do this is because I don't want to be in the first row, because you're too close to the projector, too close to your teachers. For me, it's just awkward. If that's your choice, I'm not judging you. For me, in my own preference, second to third row works best for me. I cannot be in the last row. One, because my eyes, I don't have the 20/20 vision, so it will be very hard for me to read the projector. But the last row gets all the fun. If you're a person who loves the last row, you will understand what I mean. Last row people gets all the fun. I'm someone who gets distracted easily. So if you put me in the last row, all I will do is to keep talking. I will not be listening to the teacher, and that wasn't my goal. And you may probably wonder why the aisle area. Because guys, I only want one seatmate. Because as mentioned, I get distracted easily and I only need one seatmate that I can talk to. Because if I have two, we will just keep on talking. No, it won't work for me. Okay, so my fifth tip will be make a good impression during self-introduction. Now, this is where you try to bring yourself out there, to put yourself out there. This is where you make the impression. Actually, my strategy was to say something interesting about myself. For example, in senior high school, I told my classmates, "Oh, I'm Ronah Abigail Bejoc. I am 17 years old and I can do bird noises using my mouth." So, yes, I can do bird sounds using my mouth. And of course, people were very curious because not a lot of people can do bird noises using their mouth. So they were curious and they paid attention. Also, prepare a creative introduction ahead of time, because most of the teachers, I don't know why teachers do this, but they want you to make your introduction creative as if your life is really boring. So prepare. For example, you compose a song in advance, or like you make a poem in advance. Let them know you're approachable, that you are open to being friends with them. Okay, my sixth tip will be interact with everyone. Actually, this is very challenging if you're someone who is introvert or someone who's just a shy person. During the first week of senior high school, try to interact with everyone, even the most quiet person in class. Why? Because it will help you in the future. I interacted with my classmates because I want to know who are the people that will be helpful when it comes to future group activities. For example, this girl, she loves art. She will be a very good asset when it comes to art classes. My seventh tip is that, of course, you don't need to just know your classmates. You also need to know your teachers. Get to know your teachers. So, study your teachers. And I don't mean this in a bad way or in a creepy way, but know what they like and what they don't like. Some teachers like it when their students are very active in class, but there are also some teachers who do not like it when you keep on asking questions while they are still discussing. Every teacher is different. You just have to know what they like and what they don't, so that of course you will also leave a good impression to your teachers. And for my eighth tip, make a schedule for your classes along with your study schedule. Once you get a copy of your study load or like your schedule for the whole semester, I suggest you create a summary of all your classes. So I use actually the Class Up app to make my study schedule. And once you have the schedule already for all your classes, you make a study schedule. Like for example, once I go home, 5 to 6 o'clock, travel home, 6 o'clock, I'm gonna eat dinner, 6 to 7, eat dinner, have me time, and starting 8 o'clock, I'm gonna study. So once you do that, you will be able to establish a study routine. You won't miss out on anything. Like you have it all laid out, you have it all planned out, you already scheduled when you're going to study, when you're going to have your me time. I won't go into detail about how I study or my study methods because I already made a video about that already. You can check on my channel. I'm just gonna tell you that it is nice to print out your schedule and put it in like sort of a tag where you can attach it to your ID or in your bag so you can just see your schedule easily. Okay, my ninth tip is find the right resources. And by resources, I mean like your books. Do advanced research about what are the additional resources you can study from. Because once you're given the study load, again, a study load is like a list of all your subjects and your schedules and your teacher and your room number and etc. Once you get that and once you know your subjects, do a research. Like for example, ask a friend from a higher year, ask them like, hi, where did you get your books, or where did you get your study materials, etc. You can also search for online PDFs of your book. If books are not required to be bought, you can search online for your book so you can do advanced reading. You can also search for your university library portal, because sometimes they have online books or PDFs that they offer you, so you don't have to buy books. You can save on expenses and it will be more accessible for you. And for the last tip, I think this is my favorite tip: find the right circle of friends. I think it's similar with my second tip about building connections. Now, I mentioned earlier, it is a good tip to interact with everyone during the first few days or a few weeks in senior high, because that's when you'd know who are the people you could be possibly close with, or like who could be in your circle. But you shouldn't be pressured about this, because I actually found mine during the last few months in grade 11. I found my circle not as fast. I actually belonged to a different circle during my first few months in senior high, but somehow I ended with these amazing people, and till this day I'm already a college student and we're still in the same circle together and we're helping each other pass. So my gosh, if my friends will watch this, they will laugh at me, but if there's one thing I would never regret in senior high, it's meeting my friends or meeting my circle. They're with me still in college. We're studying accountancy together, and I couldn't be more thankful that I met them in senior high. So I hope you also find your circle of friends who will motivate you, who won't see you as a competition, friends that actually cares about you, like your mental health, friends that you can open up with, friends that you won't be embarrassed with. At first, my impression of senior high school, it's too long. Oh my gosh, why do we have to study for 2 extra years in high school when I could be just a college student already? Senior high was too long for me, the 2 years. But when I met my circle of friends, everything became bearable. I don't know, it's like time was running so fast, and before I knew it, we were already graduating. And I guess that ends the first part, the first video for this mini series of how to survive senior high school, how I survived senior high school, the preparations. So these again, guys, this is not all the tips yet. These are just before all the chaos. These are the things that you need to know. This is not yet the real deal. This is the start of the chaos. No, the start of the journey to 1,000 miles. Ha! To recall the 10 tips that I gave you today, the preparations: first, do your research; second, build connections; third, dress smart on the first day; fourth, choose your seat wisely; fifth, make a good impression during self-introduction; sixth, interact with everyone; seventh, get to know your teachers; 8, make a schedule for your classes; 9, find the right resources; and 10, find the right circle of friends. So these preparation stage is very crucial, guys, because it will be like a foundation of surviving senior high school. If you don't prepare enough, if you're just too lax about it, it will be hard for you. If you're still watching this video and you've made it to the end, that means you already followed my first tip, which is do your research. I think that ends our video. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. Hopefully you learned the 10, okay? Probably the next video will be my favorite, because that is where I will go into detail about ABM. Like actually the hard subjects that ruined my mental health. I'm also gonna debunk misconceptions about becoming an ABM student. Like for example, do you really need to be good in math to survive as an ABM student? Find out in my next video. For now, thank you for hanging out with me. Hopefully you will stay tuned for the next video, because that is where all the fun begins. So for now, I guess goodbye and see you in the next video. Hopefully I can edit, because it's my finals week. Oh my gosh, I'm filming this when I'm supposed to be studying for the finals week. That's when you know I'm serious about this, okay? Trust me. Bye! I love my friends.